granddaughter of the person we are here to discuss, and an impressive singer and songwriter in her own right. Her album from a couple of years ago, My Lucky Scars, is incredibly poignant, powerful, personal record. I think very much in the mold of your grandfather. Thank you for being here. And down at the far end, William Prince comes to us from Winnipeg, Manitoba. He is a member of the Peguis First Nation. So proud of you and your representation of the Indigenous peoples, William. He has an album out this year, Stand and Enjoy, one of my favorite records of the year, his 4th album. And if anyone was at the music award show last night, you saw him perform and just bring the house to tears, I think, with his wonderful song, When You Miss Someone. Great job, William. Thank you. And S.G. Goodman, my friend from Western Kentucky. She has 2 albums in the last 3 years, That Old Time Feeling and Teeth Marks. Critically acclaimed, incredible records. She is a singer, songwriter, comedian, activist, and I guess as of today, we all acknowledge the day 1 of your reign as the emerging act of the year. Congratulations. Thanks for being here. I know it's early after what was probably late. And then Professor Don Cusick from Belmont University here in Nashville. Don is a named chair, the Curb Professor of Music Industry History there at Belmont. He's a renowned and much sought after historian of country music. Was a producer on the Ken Burns, or consultant producer on the Ken Burns Country Music documentary series, among many other things. The author of a mere 28 books. I don't know how you find the time to do that, but Don, thank you for being here.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Royal family in music. Was there a moment where that sort of started to dawn on you, or do you think of yourself in that way? Is this something that people like us project onto you?
I don't think of myself in that way, but I remember when I was 8 years old, that's when Dad was winning Entertainer of the Year, like wrapping up the awards. And I was in 3rd grade, and my teacher pulled out a newspaper and made me get up in front of the class and announce that my dad had won Entertainer of the Year. And I was a really shy kid and embarrassed, but then I knew, like, I'm part of a royal family, you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where were you living then? Here in Nashville?
Here, yeah.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. And when did you know you were a songwriter and that you had some of that Shakespeare passed down to you too?
Not till like my early 20s, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you have to kind of go outside the family to find sort of source material on him, or was there just a lot of stories being passed down in the family about your grandfather?
Stories passed down in the family and stories from the outside too. People told me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I got to know like little Jimmy, and they were best friends. So he told me stories. That was really nice to hear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And did you know your grandmother?
No, she died 4 years before I was born.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but lived a relatively long life.
Yep.
And was around and sharing stories. And did you ever interview her, Don?
Never did.
Yeah.
It was a fight between Acuff Rose and Williams estate going on. And Hank Jr. at the time wasn't signed to a label, or he was. They didn't want. Well, there was a lot of legal stuff going on, and so was forbidden to talking to her by Wesley Rose, so. And I paid attention, I should have ignored him.
Growing up where you did and how you did, tell us a little bit about what your life was like as a youngster, and when did you know that music was something that you know would do in your life?
Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, Hillary. Welcome, everybody. Sheesh. You know, it doesn't matter where I grew up. Hank Williams is everywhere. I had a few things I wanted to say, and I thought about Hank and his music. I thought about, you know, even